Our topic today is estate sales. How do you maneuver if you're trying to put the house onto the market and sell it? And what do you need to do? I'm Evantz Saint-Gerard. I'm here with Vlad Portnoy. So, Vlad, we're talking about estate sales. People are trying to sell a property. Someone recently passed away and they want to put the house, they're not sure if they want to put the house on the market, but it might be slightly leaning towards that. What's something they need to know about that process?
So it's a great question because it comes up a lot, especially in New York City, because we're oversaturated with properties and that happens all the time. So first, you need to see if they had a will. I mean, first of all, who owns the property? If this person who passed away was married and the property was in joint names, the surviving spouse gets it. And if they want to sell it, they can sell it. What if the person was not married? Maybe they had joint owners with, their kids. Then you have to see you have to look at the last deed that was recorded, basically, and see if there's any conflicts. If someone says, no, there was another deed. It was not recorded, but I have it, because that's a potential conflict. And then if all else checks out and you say, okay, this person was single, they had 2 kids, and now the kids want to sell the property. Well, they have to go through surrogate's court and they have to become appointed as fiduciary, personal representative for the estate. That is done one of 2 ways. One is if there's no will, it's called administration, and they administer the estate, they become administrators. And the other one is called probate, and they become executor under the will, if there's a will. So one way or the other, someone brings this will or brings a petition without a will to the surrogate's court in the county where the decedent resided. So it's South End Boulevard, 811 in Queens, for example. A really fun place, if you know the kind of stuff.
He says that sarcastically.
It's a fantastic place. I love it. The architecture is nice, and really lovely people working. I love them. I do. I love that courthouse, actually. So the bring the will in, and when you or do administration, you bring a petition basically saying, court, please appoint me so I can step in the decedent's shoes. In the meantime, the real estate is just sitting there because no one can sell it. They're not appointed. In the meantime, it may have mortgage, the banks are getting a little antsy, the property taxes are not being paid. That all has to be mitigated. So you should be working with a knowledgeable real estate broker and a knowledgeable, hint, Evans, and a knowledgeable estate planning attorney who knows how to navigate that, and we can keep everybody at bay. And then until the appointment, because in New York City, it might take a year or more, just because the courts are really overwhelmed, especially post-pandemic. And so once they get appointed, then they can sell as fiduciaries of the estate, as representatives of the estate, and then they collect the money, but even if they are the beneficiaries, they have to pay the creditors first, which could be a mortgage company to satisfy the mortgage, which gets paid at the closing table. And then whatever is left after everything, maybe the decedent had medical bills, credit card bills, whatever bills, and then whatever is left, this is what they distribute to each other, either 50-50 by rules of intestacy or by whatever the will dictates. But that's called an estate sale. And that's kind of an interesting animal. And we do this a lot. And Evans does it a lot. It's kind of a fun little thing we do.
When we talk about these things, they can be lengthy, they can be tiring, but because we do this on a regular basis, the audience probably doesn't know this stuff because this might be the first time they're hearing of it, but we hear of this a lot. As you mentioned before, you want to make sure you're working with someone who's knowledgeable in this field and knows the ups and downs basically when it comes to this stuff, the ins and outs, I should say, the ins and outs basically when it comes to estates and selling properties and stuff like that. And you hit on an important point. While the probate situation's happening, there's still debt on the house that needs to be taken care of. So it's a juggling act. You have to do both at the same time. You're spinning 2 different plates at the same time. I guess my next question is pretty much, it might sound difficult, but it's done all the time. And I guess my next question to you is basically, once they have the situation resolved, the court appoints them, yes, you can sell the property, and you know what the debts are, basically all the debts are paid off. What's the next step after that?
Well, once they get appointed, again, there's 3-step process. First, you get appointed. Then you marshal, it's called marshal the assets. You find out where the cash is, what the real estate is. If there's real estate outside the state, in Florida, Poconos, California, France, then you have to go there and start the whole legal process again, because New York State does not have jurisdiction over out-of-state property. And for these purposes, Florida and France are pretty much the same thing as far as New York is concerned. You got to get lawyers there and get the process going. But you marshal the assets, you figure everything out, you sell the property, and then you pay the creditors. And then you pay the beneficiaries whatever is the residuary.
One thing that you could avoid all this stuff is basically book an appointment with Vlad, have the conversation, whether it's for yourself, your family. You're never too young to do this sort of thing, or if it's for your our parents. Basically, sometimes I think we're about the same age. We don't like to have how we grew up. We don't like to have conversations about death, and definitely not about financing. So you definitely have to have these conversations so you can avoid a lot of trauma. When somebody passes, you're already going through a lot of stuff anyways. The last thing you want is extra stuff on top of this. When you have that conversation, you have these things planned out. You know exactly, this is what mom, dad wanted. This is what grandma wanted. This is what Uncle Jack, Uncle Vlad wanted. So we know exactly what to do. And then we just have to contact Vlad, basically, hey, we just want to make sure this is updated, blah, 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 and stuff like that. That's pretty much it. Vlad, if they want to get more information, how can they reach you?
They can call us at 212-920-6371 or email us at info, info, at nywillsandestates.com, nywillsandestates.com, nywillsandestates.com.
And it's easy to get me. I'm Evantz Sells Homes on pretty much all my social media platforms. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Phone number is 915, and our website is mynyhomesales.com. But we made this video short on purpose because basically there's a lot of stuff to go over. But we just want to give you a tip of the iceberg. If you have any questions, give us a call, whether it's the real estate side or the estate planning side. We're here to answer your questions. We hope, give us a call, tap into our knowledge, especially Vlad's knowledge. Get your questions answered, And you're probably going to have more questions basically after you watch this, or after we answer one question, you'll have another one. So we're here to answer them. So we hope you got some value out of this, and we'd love to talk to you soon. Vlad, you got the last word.
Thank you, Evans. It's great. It's always a pleasure talking to you. I love being a guest on your program. Please give us a call.